hopefully you got a good look at that. So these are my C's, which I am very happy with. I think in the other video, I said, well, I mean, it's not nearly as bad. I said that I didn't think that I would ever lose those grooves. And they're definitely better than they used to be. So they have gotten better to my surprise. The pain that I was experiencing, I apologize. I forgot I have a microphone on. So the pain that I was experiencing has gone. Now I have different pains because I spend most of my days at a desk and it's hard on your back because I'm typing and I'm looking at two screens. So that is difficult in itself. So my pains are different. But the pains that I was experiencing from the heaviness of my breasts are no longer there. Not to mention that just being able to wear different clothing. I can't tell you how many blouses that were in my closet that I can now put on and button up with ease without that gap that you would normally get if you're a busty girl. What else? And you'll also notice that from those videos, I have lost quite a few pounds. It's another journey, which we'll discuss in another video, but it has given me incentive to work on the rest of me. And I I feel like a whole new person. I feel like literally the weight has been lifted from my shoulders. So the fact that I can wear clothing and not wear a bra if I don't have to. Now, literally, from a teenager, from the day that I started, I have been in a bra, in a wired bra. And the only time it ever came off is if I was going to bed. And the moment I would wake up and get out of the bed, it was the first thing that I would put on. I didn't feel comfortable. Um, the sweat that would happen underneath your breast, I hated that feeling of, skin on skin. So I was never comfortable not being in a bra. I didn't like the fact that, they were sagging. So there were many reasons that I did it. I believe, as I mentioned in the other video, it surely was not just for cosmetic reasons, but it was some of it. I was not comfortable in my own skin. Whereas now I'm a heck of a lot more comfortable. Again, so just the way the lack of pain, the way that my clothes fit, I just feel a lot more confident. Also, let's talk a little bit about the healing process. It was lengthy. I think, let's see, I was off work for about a month. The first, and I'm doing this off of memory, so it's not exact, and everyone heals differently. So your journey may not be mine, it could be similar. I was flat on my back, I think, for at least 2 or 3 days. That's where my physician wanted me. And she did not want gravity to take effect while while I was healing initially. As I mentioned in the other video, there was a very high risk of nipple loss, which thank God that did not happen for me. I was very good about following her instructions. So I was on my back. I had ice packs on for those first few days. My wonderful husband helped me change my bandages. My girlfriend came over the first day because I reached out to a friend who had also had a breast reduction, so she was familiar. And she came over and helped my husband change my bandages on that first day. So I was bandaged. I kept those bandages on. I think she required me to keep those bandages on for 2 months. And the fact that I really struggled with finding just the right support bra to wear. I mean, of course, it was not wireless. It was just, I think they actually have breast reduction bras, but I was still having a hard time finding one that would support me enough and not also be uncomfortable in those incisions. And then I had one really bad incident. So surgery was towards the end of January and my birthday is at the beginning of March. And I had been restricted that entire time. She didn't want me. Oh, that was the other thing. You can't bend forward because again, gravity takes effect. And you have stitches underneath your breasts. You have the stitches around your nipples, and you try it now. You bend over and, the weight, the gravity, it pulls. So she didn't want any of that. She wanted me healing well. So I was restricted. I couldn't go out. When I wasn't taking a shower, her preference was for me to be sitting and in a reclined position. When I slept at night, gosh, how long was it? Forever. I think I could be getting it wrong, but I think she wanted me at least sleeping on my back for 6 months. And that was really difficult for me. I propped myself up slightly on pillows, but she wanted me on my back. Again, the whole gravity thing. And I rejoiced on the day that I could turn and sleep on my side. It was a long time. Let's see what else. And I started to write these all down, but in the essence of time, I figured the time that I take to write this all down and try to remember it all, and then the time that I would spend doing the video, I'll just do it and just edit as I go along. So I was on my back for quite some time. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. So my birthday was at the beginning of March. So I had been restricted, totally restricted from the end of January to the beginning of March. And I was still on restrictions, but I asked for special permission to be able to go out and celebrate my birthday. I mean, not dancing or doing any of that stuff, but there was this big event in my area that fell on my birthday and I wanted to go. So I went with the intentions of just going and sitting and enjoying myself, with some friends, with some really good friends. And, we were just sitting at a table and I had a beer and, we had some food and we were just chatting and, all was well. And then all of a sudden, someone came up behind me and put their hands over my eyes and said, "Guess who?" And I heard my daughter's voice, who lives about 2.5 hours away from me. And I had not seen her since my surgery. And in my excitement, I forgot about my restrictions. I forgot that I had just had breast reduction. And I jumped up, I screamed, and I wrapped my arms around her. Right? Like that. And, I thought it was okay. I didn't really feel anything at the time. But then by the time I get home, and I don't even remember what I had on. I think I was still wrapped at that point. But I took the wraps off and I was bleeding. And I, the next day, went to my physician and I had popped a few of the stitches. And it was a very hard, painful lesson because they had to stitch me back up in the doctor's office. And the stitches that I had during surgery were I'm pretty sure, yeah, they were the absorbable kind. Well, not the ones that I got stitched up with in the office. It was quite uncomfortable. It was painful. And the worst part is that it was literally underneath my breast, like pretty much right in line with my nipple. And the stitches that she used, like I said, they were not absorbable, so they were hard. They numbed me up at the time, so I didn't feel it. But by the time my feeling came back, the wires from the stitching was like poking me in the skin. So every time I would move, let's not even talk about bend, just move, it was excruciating. And there was literally nothing I could do about it. My husband attempted to try to put some gauze between the stitches and my skin just to give me a little bit of a buffer. We tried everything. We even tried, when my kids were in braces. So you had the little wax balls that you put on the end of the braces so they don't like rub the inside of your gums raw. We tried that. I tried everything. I was miserable. And I think they had to stay in for like 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. Maybe it was even 3. I don't know. But it was just the longest, worst 2 to 3 weeks of my life. I was so happy when I finally got those things out, and I never misbehaved again from there. Yeah, so it takes quite some time before your breasts settle into their final state. She actually said it would be anywhere from a year to a year and a half, maybe two, before they are where they should be. I would guess about right now, they're where they should be. They look terrific. They look perfect. They're full. They're perky. I'm happy with them. Just trying to think of anything else that may have been an issue. I did have an issue, however, with my yearly mammograms because, you develop quite a bit of scar tissue while you're healing from this. And for my mammogram, the scar tissue looked like it could be, something else that was concerning. So I had a couple scary moments, but I think in the end, well, not I think, in the end, they finally decided that it was definitely scar tissue. And they've kept an eye on it. I had my last mammogram about 2 weeks ago or so, and there were no changes, and we're chucking it up to just some scar tissue, which is normal. But that's also something you need to be aware of. And yeah, that was my journey. And like I said before, the best thing I've ever done is it's freeing. I have an option now if I want to wear a bra or not wear a bra. Most times I do. I mean, around the house, I am normally in just a sports bra, nothing that has any support in it whatsoever. I'm just being comfortable. I have a real one on today just for you. And it's just been great. It's been life-changing. I should also add that I believe I might have said it in the other videos that I tried 3 times to have my insurance cover it, and they did not. So I paid for this out of my pocket. But if you want something bad enough, you'll do what you need to do. And as I stated before about manifestations, you just got to believe it. You got to own it. You got to take it. You got to claim it. You make it yours, and it will work out. I did not pay the cost that one would normally pay to go and have the surgery done because I had a breast scare, or yeah, I guess that's what we'll call it, a little scare on a mammogram prior, where I forget the name now, I called it in the other video, just some calcifications. And again, that ended up being benign as well. But because of that calcification, I ended up meeting the surgeon, who was absolutely incredible and very empathetic to my plight, to my uncomfortable situation that I was in, to my dissatisfaction with the heaviness of my breast. And she offered me just a flat rate. She charged just a strict flat rate, which was a very reasonable flat rate. And then I just had to cover the cost, the actual, outpatient anesthesia and surgery, the outpatient anesthesia, and I guess just the cost for the actual room. And she charged, just as far as I'm concerned, a minimal flat rate. And that afforded me the opportunity to have the surgery. Mind you, had I not had that scare, I never would have met her, and we would never have had the conversation. I never would have been able to afford it. Maybe not. Maybe down the road I would have, come into a better financial state and would have been able to pay full price for a breast reduction. But it didn't happen. Again, this is about manifesting what you want out of life by just really believing and taking ownership for what you deserve and what you want, for dreaming and not giving up on those dreams. And I will do a full video on that, but I don't want to go off onto another whole subject. But just know that you can have what you want out of life. So I will leave it there. I hope that this was informative. I'm sure that there are things that I did not think about, but if you are considering having breast reduction, please reach out to me. I respond to all comments. I am happy to answer any questions you might have. And I don't know, maybe we take it further. Maybe we do, a live video chat to just talk it through, because sometimes it's hard just typing, so I don't know, we'll work it out. Just send me a message if you have questions. I would love nothing more than to be able to help someone else, through their journey. All right. So, as always, my friends, live well, thrive mindfully, and travel with purpose. Until next time, see you later.